Okay, so let's move on to another example. This is one Rick's familiar with. How many of you work out at Sandia? You like the retirement tool? Have you tinkered with it at all?
Oh.
You do the same thing, right? You enter a bunch of what-if scenarios, and then you got to go back. And all right, well, what if I retire when I'm 59 instead of 62? What's that? What if I save 4% instead of 8%? What's that going to do? And so you can do the same thing. I'm going to take this I simplified it a little bit. We have more inputs than this in our tool, right? But let's say that I have these particular tools in there, and I want to calculate what I'm going to have at retirement. I don't remember if it gives you a monthly or if it gives you the total. I think it gives you both, actually. But we can do that with this. So let's take, oh, these are the outputs. These are all of the things that the tool spits out based on those inputs on that last page. This is probably one you care the most now, right?
How can you possibly use that? Because over that period of years, you would have had a number of promotions. You have no idea what promotions you're doing.
That's right.
Well, you might even change.
That's what this is. You have to guess. You have to guess what your annual base salary increase is going to be. For me, I always guess 0 because that's pretty darn close to what we actually get. I'm sorry, that's what I actually get. This is pretty close to what I get for my non-base. That's pretty close to what I get on my 401k. It actually should be a negative number, and et cetera, et cetera. So if we look at the design, I designed an experiment where I varied all these things simultaneously, which they tell you to never do. The scientists have a good fit when you do that, but it's actually beneficial. Notice how nothing's correlated to each other. You can't draw a line through any of these. This is one variable versus the other. There's no correlation. That's what you want. These are my inputs. So you want all your inputs to be orthogonal.
Homogeneity? That's called homogeneity.
I call it orthogonality.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Homogeneity is a consistent population.
Oh.
Not much variation.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's look at this particular example. Can you read that? Let me see if I can go into the tool and run the model. We'll just pick something that's useful in this. Let's run this model. Okay, so let me show you what I did for the model first. So for the retirement tool, I set up my experiment, and again I have 31 different rows of data that I'm going to have to input into this tool, but I only have to do it once, then I have my model. And I varied annual base salary increase from 1 to 5% with a 3% center point. I varied non-base compensation, which we call bonuses, from $500 to $5,000. Estimated rate of return on a 401k, I chose 4, 8, and 12%. And pension survivor annuity option, pension, and then these were the outputs: monthly pension benefit, Social Security benefit, 401k benefit, projected, and this is all fake data, projected income as a percent of file, and then final monthly base earnings. That's really the one I care about. So let's see what we have on the model. Let me go down to that profile again. So monthly pension benefit. Let me see if I can run that with just pension benefit. That's not going to work. Back out. Now we're just going to have to scroll because I would have to re-enter all the data. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so this is retirement date. What I can do is maybe squish these. Oops.
can you delete those columns on the table?
I could, but then I will. Well, yeah, I could do that. Good point. let's do that. I just don't want to delete the wrong one. So, get rid of this. I don't need that. I don't need that. I can leave that in. Oh, I can't delete that one because it's a formula. Let me see what I get. Well, I guess I can't do that because I have some interactions in there. Let me see what I get. Yeah, okay. Help did it. Just changes the font. Let me make these a little smaller.
What are
Trade.
you trying to show us?
It's a fine trade. I want to show you this versus these down here. But I can't get them all on the same screen, so I might have to scroll around a little bit. All right, so this is my monthly pension benefit versus retirement date. So that's a biggie, right? The longer I work, the more it's going to go up. This is annual base salary increase. So it matters a little bit. This is your bonuses. Your bonuses don't really matter much. Estimated rate of return on the 401k.
Makes a big difference.
That doesn't make it.
It's negative.
It's about-
So you just need to work.
Oh, that's because it's a pension benefit. Sorry. The monthly 401k benefit's here. That makes a big difference on that one. Your pension's fixed. It doesn't matter what the stock market's doing. So here's the 401k here. So, and then pension survivor annuity, you can see how that changes it. So on retirement date, I have this coded. I don't have the actual dates here. This is a coded variable, but I can see as I wait for retirement, if I said, how old do I have to be to get $8,000 a month, I can just slide this till I'm at $8,000 a month, figure out what date that correlates to.
142.
You can see a-
Triple digit, yeah.
You can see a biggie here is estimated rate of return in 401k. That's right.
Well,
And so instead of going through that retirement tool and plugging in a bunch of data and then getting an estimate, now I know what matters, what the model is, and I never have to go to that retirement tool planner again until things change. But I can go over here and use this instead. I like this better because I can see the effects. I can see the thing that's going to matter the most is how long I work.
So when are you gonna retire, Doc?
Never. Pretty much. Because remember, mine goes this way because my 401k investments are. If you want to have a good investment, just do the opposite of what I do. Share.
In the past.
But you see when you get your statement, it says current earnings are not or past earnings are not a prediction of future earnings. Mine says current losses are not a prediction of future losses.
Well, we were just saying back here, we'd like you to do a blog, just so we know what you're doing on any given day, so we can do the opposite.
Oh, okay, okay. So this is the model. This is the same thing I just showed you, but it's just copy and pasted as a picture. And what I also can do, I won't do it live because I don't have a big enough screen, but I can also say for annual base salary, I'm going to do a Monte Carlo simulation where I'm going to say, I don't really know how much that changes. I'm going to say it changes anywhere from 0 to 5%. I peaked it at 2%, and I said it's somewhere in here, most likely 2%, but it could be anywhere from 0 to 5%. And it's going to generate 10,000 random variables within that distribution. I also did that for annual non-based compensation. I just made that uniform to show you I can use different distributions in this simulation. I said it's anywhere from $200 to $3,500 with an even chance of being somewhere in there. And then for the rate of return, On the 401k, I gave it a mean of 7 and a standard deviation of 3, just for as an example. And I ran it many, many times, and then I get these estimates over here, and I can see that. Let's look at. This is the. Which one's it? Okay, so this is the monthly income you need for retirement. And so I get this estimate, but this also gives me the uncertainty based on the uncertainties I gave it in the Monte Carlo simulation.
What does that green thing to the right?
This is the final distribution of 10,000 random runs, varying these inputs using these random functions.
Why does it tail off like that? What is that?
This one here?
What's the x-axis?
So, okay, if you look at these random inputs, I set these distributions manually. I said, this varies, I don't know, I think it's going to vary by this distribution. I think rate of return on 401ks, I don't think it's going to be the 15%. We've always seen, I think it's going to be 7%. And I gave us